So hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk leaders, how to become memorable and thrive in any public presentation without spending hours, of course. So 7%, 7% is the amount, is the percentage you will retain from the word that I will say, that I will talk about today. 7% only, so you better choose them, right? 38% is what you will retain from the rhythm of my voice, the tone, the tonality of my voice. This is 30% of a global message. And 55% is what you will remember of my body language, of my smile, the way I act, the way I am. This is what you retain from a global message. So when you talk, please talk just as though you talk to half-blind people. Because this, if you talk to half-blind people, people who are blind or half-blind will listen. They have the capacity of listening much better. So if you use the whole tonality of your voice, like this, and then like this, and down and up, and this is then a good way to be memorable, because people remember about your voice, the tonality, the rhythm, and everything. So also, speak as though you were speaking to half deaf people, you know, like Virginie de Lalande. She was born totally deaf, and she became one of the greatest speaker now on, you know, handicap. So she has never actually heard the tone of her voice. So can you believe this? And she's now part of the biggest speaker, and she became the first deaf lawyer in France. So this is Virginie. I'm going to talk to you about 3 keys today. And the first thing I want to share with you is that you should give as much importance to your core message as to its delivery. Even if you are online, you see, if I'm online, I put some makeup, I have lipstick, I have smile, I use my gesture. This is, you should give as much importance to the core message as really to its delivery. So the key number 1 I would like to share with you today is you should ask yourself 3 questions. The first question you should ask yourself, what would you like your audience to remember? What are the key messages? And there must be 1 or 2 key messages you would like them to remember. Because, you know, if you have too much, people will not remember anything. So, you know, what would you like them to remember about what you said? Second, how would you like them to feel about you? Because, you know, if you give emotions to your speech, people will then remember you much better. And then third, what would you like them to do? Because, you know, in a lot of speeches, there are no call to action. And so if they're not call to action in any speech, if you don't know how you would like the audience, what you would like the audience to do, then, well, you lose something, you know, because if there is no call to action in your speech, then the audience leave and then nothing happens. So remember, people may forget what you said, but they will never, never, ever forget the way you made them feel. So you should also define your goal. What is your goal? What is the goal of your speech? Would you like to seduce? Would you like to inform? Would you like to, you know, make them cry? This is also part of some speakers' speech, you know, make people cry, have really nice emotions. And you should always remember to speak with the brain in mind. Because, you know, everyone and each and every one of us have a different way of perceiving the information. Like some people are much more in future, in perspective. So you need to use a lot of metaphors with these people. If you don't use pictures and metaphors, if you don't have a PowerPoint or a Kredi behind you, if you only speak, you should use metaphors, because metaphors would speak to the right brain. And of course, you should use also stories and have people get emotional about the story that you have, you know, and that is also speaking to the limbic part of the brain. The future and perspective is much more the cortical part of the brain, the analytical part, and then the emotions and feelings are much more in the limbic part of the brain. And, you know, people make decisions, they think with this part of the brain, but then they make decisions because they have emotions. And this is what will make people just, you know, go to the action. Then you should speak about details and give them content. You know, give details, but not too many details, just a few, you know, a few details about what you do. And also have some facts and figures, you know, just like I started with the facts and figures. Because if you don't have facts and figures, some people will then not really be happy about your speech, because if the people expect facts and figures and details, which are in the left brain part of the brain, then they will go back to their smartphone and read their email, and they will be they will be really not listening to you anymore. So how about you? Behind your screen, think about what the type of question you ask yourself first. Are you a why person? Do you use a lot of metaphors and stories in your speeches? Are you a who person? Do you link to the audience with emotions? Are you a how person? Do you give lots of details? Then if you have too many details, this is a big issue. Or are you a what person? So just, you know, answer to yourself, because I can't speak to you directly. But then in your brain, think about the type of person you are. What is your favorite question? You ask yourself why, who, how, or what? Because, you know, anyway, you should use the 4 of them when you speak to people. You should use facts and figures, you should use details, you should use stories to make them emotional, and you should use metaphors. So everyone, so this reminds you to speak with the brain in mind. Key number 2, check the structure. Check the structure of your speech. Any speech just looks like a nice burger. You know, a nice burger, you know, it's in my time in France, it's just a bit before noon, so it makes me hungry. So every speech is just like a nice burger. Just like, look carefully now. First, it starts with an impactful opening. You know, the impactful opening is very, very important in any speech. When there's a nice opening, then the speech will be much better, much, much clearer. Then there should be a speech map with a promise. You see, the promise is very important, because if you don't give people the benefit, why should they listen to you? What is the benefit for them? Not for you, for them. That's the most important thing. Then you step into the development and explain with a little bit of details and illustrate immediately with metaphors. Remember, if you don't have PowerPoint or Prezi behind you, you use metaphors. And then you end with an impactful conclusion. And each and every speech is just like a nice burger. This is a reasonable speech, a reasonable burger. You see, 2 pieces in the middle, that's reasonable. But most people I coach and, you know, I follow have speeches like this. It's really an indigestion. I mean, it's so indigest that you can't really bite the burgers. So many details in between. So that's wrong. That's the wrong type of speech. Key number 3, check the delivery. How you deliver. Put yourself in the light. You know, people enjoy stories. They love stories. So I have a signature story that people know. My signature story is me as a child. I go to school every morning. It's the 14th of February, 1968. I'm 6, and each and every morning I pass by a really nice pastry shop where I can smell the chocolate cookie, you see, and I can only have one once a week because my parents can't afford it to buy one chocolate cookie every day. So I walk in front of this pastry shop and walk back to my home every evening and past this pastry shop where it smells so nice, the chocolate cookie. And then sometimes something happens in my brain, and I put my hand in my pocket, and there's a old 20-cent coin of French franc, and the chocolate cookie costs 50. 50. And then I say to myself, okay, I go and I step into the pastry shop and I say to the baker, oh, you have the most wonderful chocolate cookie of the whole town. And if you let me have this one, the bigger one, of course, the biggest, for 20 instead of 50, I will tell all my friends, and all the mom and dads will come and buy it at your shop, at your bakery. And it worked, you see. And so it's in my DNA. I have been a negotiator since I was a small child, since I was 6 years old. And that's, you see, the signature story to the keynote that I give. Why do good negotiators get what they desire? So you can start with a signature story, because no one will be able to steal the signature story from you. You see, that's very, very important. So you should be really starting with a story. You can also start with a quote, an inspirational quote. You can start with a statistic, just like I did start. Remember to always look at the audience, just look at the audience deeply in the eye, just like if you are in front of your camera, in front of your laptop, you should look at the audience just like as though you would take them in your arms, remember? And you should always, always smile. Smile is the key to the heart. So give them a big smile. That's very important. And express your emotions, express your emotions. And this will make them feel emotional, and this will create a magical link between you and the audience. And also, give them nice music. Nice music is that the musicality of your voice with ups and downs like this, that's very important. And put a piece of humor every 6 minutes. Every 6 minutes, there should be a piece of humor in your speech. It's very important. I'm sure that you will remember my signature story with my chocolate cookie. And that means that I'm a big guts. I love chocolate cookies, and I should not eat them a lot, because otherwise I will get much bigger and I have to put myself on the way, and then I have to make a diet. So remember, a piece of humor every 6 minutes. That's very important in a nice speech. And rehearse. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Rehearse your speech at least 21 days. Why it's 21 days before you start really to go on the walk on a platform to give your speech? 21 days. Imagine that you put the knives and forks and spoons in another place, in another cupboard. Your brain will take 21 days to go to the right cupboard, and the brain will look for the old one, and this will take 21 days. And so rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Put your speech in the mouth and the heart and the brain for 21 days. Remember, to be memorable, you should really also learn how to pitch. I will then now teach you how to pitch. The 7-second pitch, what I call the 7-second pitch. So look carefully and listen carefully. First of all, I am first name, last name, job position eventually. I help avatar. The avatar is the ideal customer you have. You see, the target group of people who you really look forward to working with. So I help avatar target group who had problems, issues, and it's very important to point out the problems and the issues of your avatar, because people relate much more to the problems and the issues than the benefit, and of course gets benefit. So I am first name, last name, job position, function. I have avatar, target group of people who has issues, problems, get benefit, and I am brand, personal print. Okay, so this gives that. I am Christine Morlet, keynote speaker and coach, speech coach. I help entrepreneurs who struggle with the structure of their speech or their keynote become memorable. I am a positive influence specialist. This is how you can then do it in 30 seconds. 7 seconds is very short. If you only have 7 seconds, you can then just say, I'm Christine Morlet, keynote speaker and coach and speech coach. I mean, this will be then enough to have the people, say, hey, I want to know more. Don't give too much in your pitch, because if you give too much to the audience in your pitch, the person who listens to you, then if you give too much, then a lot of details, then people get lost in translation. And remember, people may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you make them feel. So now, let me show you the brilliant speaker dance. So I'm going to show you the gesture. So what you would like them to remember, how you would like them to feel, and what you would like them to do. So are you ready? Because now I'm going to turn the music on and you're going to dance in front of your computer. This is weird, isn't it? But this is the way you can memorize things. So what you would like to remember, how you would like them feel, what you would like them to do. This is how you will then remember my speech. So I'm Christine Morlet, I'm a speech coach, and it has been an honor, a pleasure to then lead this keynote for you today.